Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my monthly review for this month's issue of the Walking Dead comic book series. This is for issue 166. It's called No Surrender. And pretty major spoiler warning for this issue. So if you guys forgot, yes, The Walking Dead does have a new issue today that's released of the comic book series. I almost forgot because, of course, the big finale for The Walking Dead TV series. And, we've been making a lot of videos on that lately, of course, with it being a pretty sweet finale. And, we kind of, I haven't really mentioned lately, and I'm sure a lot of you guys forgot, that there was a new issue of Walking Dead comic today. So 166 released today, No Surrender. Awesome issue. So this is the issue where you have the cover of Dwight fighting against John on it, and you've got some of the saviors in the background, kind of out of it. So you've got Sherry and Tara there. But with this one, I mean, this was a really, really great issue. So let's start from the top. So we pick up where we left off in 165, where we find out that Andrea has been bitten. So we see the continuation of that. And now it's really starting to look like Andrea was actually bitten and that it wasn't some kind of a scratch or a knife or something that cut her, because she seems to be sweating out, right? Which we commonly see after somebody's been bitten. So maybe Andrea was bitten and she'll be killed or she'll be dying off shortly, which is really sad and really crazy to see. So in addition to that, in this one, we also see the confrontation we've been waiting for between the saviors and our survivors, as the saviors close in on Alexandria, and where the survivors have been fighting out the rest of the walkers that are there. So we start with Andrea finding out that she's bitten. We've got Rick and Negan who are fighting off some walkers inside of Alexandria. We've got Sadiq and Annie that come out, as well as some of the others. You've got Vincent who comes out, and you see a lot of the survivors in Alexandria start to kind of join together. We see Rick reunited with Carl, which is nice. Got Lydia there, but Maggie's not with them. Carl tells Rick about the hilltop and what happened there, and then you see the Braca, and you've got these saviors who arrive. So they arrive. You've got Sherry there at the front, and they basically tell Rick and the survivors that the saviors are not going to be part of the joint communities, the survivors, anymore. They're going to be leaving, or at least at that time they were. Now we get into the really major spoilers. So Sherry says, what the fuck is he doing here? Pointing towards Negan, because, Negan is like right there, and of course, all their background, that happened when Negan was leading the Saviors and what he did to all of them and everything, and him just kind of being like, hi everyone. Did you happen to miss me? I missed the F out of you. So that was a pretty funny line. I laughed when I saw that, and just kind of his face too. Hello, it was kind of funny. Pretty comical. And we got to see some more of that in the finale for The Walking Dead, season 7 too, which I really like. The guns ablazing line, that widow's alive. There's some silly comedy mixed in there from Negan too, which is really great, because we don't have a lot of that in the series. So I really like to see that. That was funny, as Negan has been recently consistently funny pretty much every issue. So we've got Dwight counters them. So he counters them, and they kind of fight back. They switch on him, and it looks to be about even. And then you've got Rick, who loses his cool and yells at everybody and tells everybody to stop, which is pretty wicked. I really like where you see his face and everything stop. And, you have angered Rick Grimes, right? So everybody kind of, oh, all right. The big guy, Alpha, told us to stop. We better stop, right? So that was good. I like that, too. That was pretty intense, the kind of the face-off between them. And just what was going to happen there, whether or not the guns were just going to all go off. But Rick is able to get everyone to calm down, and ask Sherry to kind of come inside and discuss one-on-one what they're going to do and what she wants. So he asks her, what do you want? Like, what is it that you want? What do you want here? What are you doing? What is this whole idea? And then she pretty much says that she doesn't want to be a part, the Saviors don't want to be a part of the joint communities anymore. But it doesn't sound like they want to leave and just, find somewhere else to live. They want to stay at the sanctuary, but they want to be separate from the others now. So, and they've also, of course, attacked some of the survivors prior. They haven't killed anybody yet, so far as we know. I'm just like thinking back whether or not they've actually killed one of our survivors. I guess they haven't, but they've injured them. And by not helping out in the war, they kind of killed some, by deciding not to join in and lend their aid. Of course, Rick and the others, their numbers were lower, and they didn't have what they should have had for the Whisperer War. So in that sense, they didn't pull the trigger. But by not being there when they needed to be, they really betrayed the joint communities because they left them there to fight off the Whisperers all by themselves when they expected them to be there. So in that sense, they've obviously done a lot wrong. And Rick basically, is trying to work things out with Sherry. It seems they're trying to discuss and find out, okay, what are we going to do? And Rick's kind of letting her know, like, you're basically being an idiot, because the joint communities, they help each other. It's not like, they're totally just dominant over the saviors. They trade, right? Each community produces different things, and they help each other out. And by having them all together, when it comes to groups like the Whisperers, they're stronger and they're more able to fight back against threats like that when they do come up, if they have each other as allies. So he basically comes down like saying that she's insane. She's not sane, she's insane, and what she's planning or what she's deciding to do makes no sense, and it doesn't benefit even them. So she goes off and talks about how, all the things they've been through, nobody is sane anymore, this kind of deal. And then she tries to kill him. Now, this is when things get really, really exciting in this issue. And we actually see Rick kind of counter. She takes out the knife. He's got the arm, the kind of covered prosthetic arm, so to speak. And he's able to kind of fight her off. And in the end, when she gets close to trying to blatant choke him out, he basically snaps her neck. So he kind of throws her as hard as he can and bench presses her. Basically, she's on top of him. He kind of throws her off him, snaps her neck, and she dies. Now at this time, Andrea walks in, seeing what's happened here, and being like shocked, like, is she dead? What's going on? It's just a weird time to walk in, right? So then Rick finds out that she's been bitten. So wow, really exciting issue here, and looks like Sherry is 100% dead. I mean, I can't see any way. It looks like blood and the whole bit, and the next snap, and it looks like from the artwork, from what I can tell, looks like she's a goner for sure. So, man, that puts things in a really crazy state, because of course you've got all of these saviors that are just outside the gate, expecting them to be negotiating and working this out in a peaceful manner, and it doesn't make Rick look good, of course, because even though he's got the one arm and everything, she's a girl, right? So obviously that doesn't look good for him, right? So then you've got Andrea back. So it looks like Andrea is probably going to die. I at first thought that it wasn't a bite, it must have been like a scratch or a knife or something like that. Maybe a bullet went through her, so I don't know, like something else, but not a bite, so she would actually survive. And now I'm starting to feel more like, okay, maybe that's not the case. Maybe she is going to die. So in the TV series, that would be Michonne, for example, when it gets to this point. So that's crazy to think that he would kill her off like that. Usually, I would think that deaths like that would be reserved kind of for issues 100, 150, 200. But I guess at the same time, if he did that every time, it would be a bit predictable, because then we'd get to issue 200 and be like, oh, he's going to kill off an A-lister now, right? Which I still think he probably will do. But we'll see what happens when we get closer to 200. But, man, that's crazy, and I'm still not 100% sold on it. You guys can write your comments below. Let me know what you think about this. Is Andrea dead for sure? Is she burning out? Is she burning up the fever or whatever, like Morgan explained in Season 1, right? The sweat and everything. Is she burning it out and dying? And what do you think is going to happen now that Sherry is dead, and it looks really bad for Rick on the side of these saviors? It looks like he just pretty much killed her when he got her alone. Of course, also Andrea and them must have returned by now. So do the survivors outnumber these saviors at this point? Some really, really great questions. And again, Kirkman on his game 100%, setting us up for another really exciting issue, and just keeping us on the edge of our seat wanting to find out what happens next. So as always, I loved this issue. It was really surprising. I really did not predict or see any of this happening, that they would kind of go off, the two of them by themselves, and negotiating, that all this would spin out and that Sherry would be killed off in such a fashion. Also, I didn't think that Andrea was going to be actually like sick to this point where it looks like she's actually going to die. I guess it could be like an infection or something, and just the wound could be causing her to kind of pass out too, I guess, after all her energy she expended and everything getting back now. So write your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Right now it's looking to me like Andrea's probably dead. Looks to me like Sherry's dead, and that's going to cause things to just go crazy out front, it sounds like, between the saviors and the survivors. So in terms of score for this issue, it's almost like a perfect issue to me. I'm going to give it a 9.9 because it's really, really close to perfect, I think, and it was insanely exciting to read through, and I loved every part of it. Weird emotions there when you see Rick and Sherry going at it because it's so unexpected, but it's not really Rick's fault. That said, though, nobody was around to find that out. Nobody knows that. So write your comments below. Let me know what you guys thought about this issue. I loved it as always, and of course can't wait for next month for issue 167. That'll be it for this review, guys. If you liked it, please don't forget to thumb it up. You can also share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, you can subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another. So this is Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.